Today on In Good Company, I'm taking you behind the scenes of my entrepreneurial journey, the good, the bad, and the downright messy. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribing means you'll never miss an episode packed with those tips, tools, and inspiration to help you start, grow, and sustain your business. Let's face it, success doesn't happen alone. And this podcast here is to keep you in good company. So let's get started. Here's the thing. Building a business can feel somewhat like a roller coaster. It's exciting, it's challenging, and a little scary. But here's the good news. You're not in this alone. Welcome to In Good Company, the podcast where we bring together entrepreneurs, experts, and real stories to help you navigate every twist and turn of business. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your dream, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. When I started my business, I had this grand vision. I wanted to help entrepreneurs master those finances, but I had no idea where to begin. So I did what many of us do. I Googled everything. I spent hours reading blog posts, watching those YouTube tutorials, and overthinking every decision. It was exhausting. It wasn't until I launched that I realized something important. Starting small is not a failure. It's a strategy. For example, I wanted to create the perfect website before ever landing my first client. Crazy. But eventually, I realized that getting started, even imperfectly, was the key to moving forward. So here's kind of a tip to get you through that part. If you break down your big dreams into bite-sized actionable steps, ask yourself, what can I accomplish today to get closer to my goal? Maybe it's sending that one email, maybe making that one phone call. I hear you, millennials. Being on the phone is not fun. But maybe setting up your social media, something like that can help you get closer. Progress beats perfection every time. Quick break before we dive into the next lesson. If you're ready to take control of your finances and set your business up for success, I've got a freebie just for you. Download my Cashflow blueprint at chamberlainandgoodcompany.com/cashflow. It's packed with actionable tools to help you understand, optimize, and master those business cash flow because no one should feel lost when it comes to their money. Grab it now and let's keep going. Okay, so let's talk about failure because it is inevitable. My first year in business taught me that failure isn't just something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Stay with me here. I remember launching a service that I thought was brilliant, but completely flopped. I had spent so much time trying to perfect that offer that I forgot to ask my audience if it was something they even needed. It was humbling, but it forced me to go back to the drawing board and really listen to what my audience wanted. That's when things started to click. A way to kind of get through this little thing that I went through is really treat failure as feedback. Every no is a step closer to your yes. Pay attention to what's not working and pivot. Success isn't a straight line, it's a zigzag. Not fun, but every failure that I ever experienced taught me something that I carry with me today. So I once had a client tell me that they were going to launch a product, and after 3 months, they didn't have a single sale. They were ready to give up, but we tweaked their messaging, shifted their focus, and they started seeing traction within weeks. Failure is never the end, just the beginning of something better. Let's move on to resilience. Resilience is really the secret sauce of your entrepreneurship. There are so many days when I felt like burning it all to the ground. Have you been there? The rejection, the uncertainty, the late nights, it really all adds up. So, you know what kept me going? If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I talk about my why. My why changes all the time, but every time it changes seasonally. So it changes to what matters the most to me at that time. In the very beginning, my why was really all about creating a life of freedom, flexibility for my family while helping other entrepreneurs achieve that clarity in their finances. So anytime I felt like quitting or burning it to the ground, I think back to my bigger picture. What's important? Why am I doing this? What's keeping me going? So here's a tip to kind of get you through that resilience that is so hard to maintain and keep up with. Write down your why. Put it somewhere visible. Maybe it's your desk. Maybe it's your phone screensaver. Whatever you need to do to see it daily. Let me be that anchor when things get tough. Your why is going to get you through those times that you want to burn it to the ground. Promise. Another thing that kind of gets me through is celebrating your small wins. Maybe it's landing your first client, hitting a revenue milestone, or even just showing up on a really, really hard day, because I know how that feels. Acknowledge your progress. It's what keeps you moving forward. This was a really, really hard thing for me to do as someone that likes to feel like they're always moving forward and uses numbers to do that. But really, it's the small victories that get you to where you want to go. So don't forget about those. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few tools that really have been game changers for me. A planner. I know. It might sound old school, but a planner is something I use religiously to break down my goals into daily tasks. This can look anything like a paper planner. There's so many digital options now. I really like Remarkable tablets. It helps me be able to write things down and check it off. I love that feeling. But get something that you can write down the goals, the tasks that you need to get done and be able to cross them off. That part is just as important. Next is a support system. So when you're raising a child or any kind of small being, everyone says it takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise a child. I'm going to try to get you to relate that to a business. You need a support system, whether it's friends, family, mentors. Surround yourself with people who really believe in you. You need a village to support you during this time. This is a tricky one. So if you need that support system or you need that cheerleader, always feel like I've got your back, because I really, really do. And lastly, automation tools. So this is an ever-changing world when it comes to business, but things that can help make your daily life just a little easier, like scheduling apps, bookkeeping software, they save you so much time during the week that you do not need to be spending doing. So for me, before I had my wonderful assistant, in the very beginning, I have a CRM. A CRM is something that automates my client's journey where I'm not having to manually push them through every single step. Game changer, saves us so much time. For bookkeeping software, that can be something like QuickBooks. QuickBooks is so great because it will automate your transactions that are coming in and going out by showing up on that bank feed that you're not having to manually enter. We don't want to work harder. We want to work smarter. So these tools won't do the work for you, but they will make your work just a little easier. And that's the goal. As we wrap up, I'd like to say thank you so much for spending time with me on In Good Company. It means the world to me. I hope today's episode gave you the confidence to take that next step in your entrepreneurial journey. Don't forget your free cash flow blueprint is waiting for you at chamberlainandgoodcompany.com/cashflow. It's the perfect tool to help you manage your finances and focus on growth. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss more insights, stories, and tips to help you build your dream business. Let's keep growing together. Thank you so much for spending time with me on In Good Company. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's building their dream. Looking for more resources? Head to chamberlainandgoodcompany.com for free tools and expert advice. Until next time, keep growing, keep thriving, and remember, you're in good company.